Chapter 2: Effect of Thought on Circumstances. Your mind may be likened to a garden which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it by you, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall haphazardly into the fertile soil of your mind and will continue to produce their kind. Just as a gardener cultivates his plot, keeping it free from weeds and growing the flowers and fruits which he requires, so may you tend to the garden of your mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless, and impure thoughts and cultivating towards perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful, and productive thoughts. By pursuing this process, you will sooner or later discover that you are the master gardener of your soul, the director of your life. You will also reveal within yourself the laws of thought and understanding with ever-increasing accuracy how the thought forces and mind elements operate in the shaping of your character, circumstances, and destiny. Thought and character are one, and as character can only manifest and discover itself through environment and circumstances, the outer conditions of a person's life will always be found to be harmoniously related to their inner state. This does not mean that your circumstances at any given time are an indication of your entire character, but that those circumstances are so intimately connected with some vital thought element within yourself that for the time being, they are indispensable to your development. Every person is where they are by the law of their own being. The thoughts which they have built into their character have brought them there. And in the arrangement of their life, there is no element of chance, but all is the result of a law which cannot and does not err. This is just as true of those who feel out of harmony with their surroundings as those who are connected and contented with them. As a progressive and evolving being, you are where you are, that you may learn, that you may grow. And as you learn the spiritual lessons which any circumstance contains for you, it passes away and gives place to other circumstances. You are limited by circumstances only so long as you believe yourself to be the creature of outside conditions. But when you realize that you are a creative power and that you may command the hidden soil and seeds of your being out of which circumstances grow, you then become the rightful master of yourself. If you do not believe in the dominion over yourself and your life that your spirit and free will provides you, then you will never be able to use these gifts. If you look outside yourself towards your problems, you must also look outside to their remedies. Look both inward to problem and solution, and there you will find the liberation to all your suffering. Return yourself to the authority of yourself, as is the birthright and joy of every human being. That circumstances grow out of thought, every person knows who has for any length of time practiced self-control and self-purification. For they will have noticed that the alteration in their circumstances has been in exact ratio with their altered mental condition. Earnestly apply yourself to remedy the defects in your character, and you will make swift and measurable progress quickly and easily. The soul attracts that which it secretly harbors, that which it loves, and also that which it fears. It reaches the height of its cherished aspirations. It falls to the level of its uncontrolled desires. And circumstances are the means by which the soul receives its own. Every thought seed sown or allowed to fall into the mind and to take root there produces its own, blossoming sooner or later and bearing its own fruitage of opportunity and circumstance. Good thoughts bear good fruit. Bad thoughts, bad fruit. The outer world of circumstance shapes itself to the inner world of thought, and both pleasant and unpleasant external conditions are factors which make for the ultimate good of the individual. As the reaper of your own harvest, you must learn both by suffering and bliss, following the inmost desires, aspirations, thoughts by which you allow yourself to be dominated, giving attention to unproductive imaginings or consistently walking the highway of strong and high endeavor. You, at last, arrive at the fruition and fulfillment in the outer conditions of your life. The laws of growth and adjustment are in effect everywhere. A man does not go bankrupt or go to prison by the tyranny of fate or circumstance, but by the pathway of unproductive, negative thoughts and consistent attention upon negative and unwanted conditions. Just the same, a pure-minded man does not fall suddenly into crime by stress of any mere external force. The criminal thought has long been secretly fostered in the heart, and the hour of opportunity revealed its gathered power. Circumstance does not make the man. It reveals him to himself. No such conditions can exist as descending into vice and its attendant sufferings apart from vicious inclinations, or ascending into virtue and its pure happiness without the continued cultivation of virtuous aspirations. And man, therefore, as the Lord and Master of thought, is the maker of himself, the shaper and author of environment. Even at birth, the soul comes to its own, and through every step of its earthly pilgrimage, it attracts those combinations of conditions which reveal itself, which are the reflections of its own purity and impurity, its strength and weakness. It's not that you attract what you want, but that you attract what you are. Your flighty ideas, whims, and momentary ambitions are cast off into the breeze with every step and never take root. But your inmost thoughts and desires are fed with their own food, be it foul or clean. The divinity that shapes our ends is in ourselves. It is our very self. Only we shackle and bind ourselves. Thought and action are the guardians of fate. They will imprison. Being neutral, however, they are also the angels of freedom. They liberate, being noble. It's not what you wish and pray for that you get, but what you put your attentions upon. Your wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with your thoughts and actions. In the light of this truth, what then is the meaning of fighting against circumstances? It means that people are continually revolting against effect in the outer world, while all the time they are nourishing and preserving its cause in their hearts. That cause may take the form of a conscious vice or an unconscious weakness, but whatever it is, it stubbornly impairs the efforts of its possessor and thus calls aloud for a remedy. Most people are anxious to improve their circumstances but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. The person who will not shrink but grow from self-examination can never fail to accomplish the object upon which their heart is set. This is as true of earthly as of heavenly things. Even the person whose sole object is to acquire wealth must be prepared to make a great personal effort before he can accomplish his object. And still more effort be required for a person committed to realize a strong and well-developed life on all planes. Let's look at a man who's living in poverty. He is extremely anxious and outspoken that his surroundings and home comforts should be improved. Yet all the time he neglects his work and considers he is justified in trying to deceive his employer on the grounds of the insufficiency of his wages. Such a man does not understand the simplest foundations of the principles which are the basis of true prosperity, and is not only totally unfitted to rise out of his poverty, but is actually attracting to himself a still deeper struggle by dwelling in and acting out lazy, deceptive, and blame-filled thoughts. Now let's look at a rich man who is the victim of a painful and persistent disease as the result of stress. He is willing to give large sums of money to get rid of it, but he will not sacrifice the cause of his stress. He wants to continue doing things in exactly the same manner he does them now, but improve his health conditions at the same time. Such a man is totally unfit to have health because he has not yet learned the first principles of a healthy life.